Imagine a place where chaos reigned supreme, where pirates roamed freely, and where debauchery knew no bounds. A place where lawlessness was the law of the land, and where every shadow held a secret. Welcome to Port Royal, Jamaica, the wickedest city on earth. But what made this once thriving pirate haven so infamous? What tales lie buried beneath its murky waters, waiting to be unearthed? Join me as we delve into the dark and treacherous history of Port Royal, where every street corner whispers of its sinful past. Nestled on the southern coast of Jamaica, Port Royal was once a bustling hub of trade and commerce in the 17th century. Its strategic location at the entrance of the Kingston Harbor made it a vital port for ships traversing the Caribbean. But beneath its facade of prosperity lurked a sinister underbelly that would earn it the title of the Sodom of the New World. In a momentous event on the morning of January 20, 2020, something remarkable unfolded in Kingston. After 4 decades, a cruise ship graced the historic Port Royal once again. Welcomed by an innovative floating pier, 2,000 excited guests stepped onto the island, with the massive Marella Discovery 2 casting a shadow over everything in sight as they disembarked. It was a proud moment for Kingston and its residents, a dream finally realized after years of talk and setbacks, largely due to political wrangling and neglect of Port Royal's development. The arrival of the cruise ship marked a fresh start for Port Royal, a place steeped in history known to Jamaicans but often overlooked beyond its shores. While Port Royal is a now quiet fishing village at the tip of a 29-kilometer sandbar from Kingston, back in the late 17th century it was infamous as the wickedest city on earth. After the English took control from the Spanish in 1655, the island quickly became a valuable asset. But with limited manpower, Governor Edward Doyley had to resort to recruiting pirates and privateers to defend it. With the influx of wealth from trading slaves, sugar, and logwood, Port Royal transformed into a wild haven of indulgence. About a quarter of its buildings housed either a bar or a brothel, fueling the town's rapid rise in prosperity. Pirates like Captain Henry Morgan, known for their extravagant lifestyles, made Port Royal their playground. They raided Spanish ports, including Panama City and Maracaibo, spending their loot lavishly on pleasures beyond imagination. In the late 1600s, Port Royal became a haven for pirates, buccaneers, and privateers who were running from the law. Because of the relaxed rules and officials who looked the other way, the city turned into a lawless place where pirates were in charge. They roamed the streets freely and stole from ships without fear of getting caught. But it wasn't just the pirates causing trouble. Greed, violence, and wild behavior were common sights in Port Royal. Local historian Peter Gordon paints a vivid picture of the era. These buccaneers had free rein, seen as defenders of Jamaica. Authorities turned a blind eye, leading to a city where gold flowed freely into the hands of questionable characters. Brothels, bars, and churches stood in equal numbers, creating a rough-and-tumble atmosphere in Port Royal. But on the morning of June 7, 1692, everything changed. A massive earthquake struck, claiming 2,000 lives and forever altering the face of Port Royal. The earthquake wreaked havoc on Port Royal, wiping out about 52 acres of land, explained Sylvanus Walters, the technical director of archaeology at the Jamaica National Heritage Trust. Nearly 2/3 of the area sank into Kingston Harbor, taking buildings and lives with it. The collapse of walls claimed many lives, with over half of the population perishing in the disaster. Despite its chilling tale, it's surprising that Port Royal's story remains relatively unknown outside Jamaica. Yet, what truly sets it apart is the remarkably preserved underwater remains of the once thriving pirate haven. Resting just meters beneath the water's surface in an oxygen-depleted environment, these submerged ruins serve as a time capsule, offering a glimpse into the everyday life of a 17th-century colonial port town. Walters noted that it's believed to be one of the best preserved underwater heritage sites in this hemisphere, possibly even unique to this part of the world. This makes it incredibly significant, not just for Jamaica, but for the entire world. Preserving this invaluable heritage asset is crucial. Dubbed the Pompeii of the Caribbean, Port Royal is on track to potentially become a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a recognition eagerly awaited in a region that has often been overlooked. However, given its scandalous past and ties to the slave trade, are there any mixed feelings about Port Royal in Jamaica today? Gordon noted that the people of Port Royal have always taken pride in their heritage. Many of Jamaica's population were once enslaved Africans who later became skilled tradespeople, with some of the most talented artisans residing in Port Royal. Despite our origins in slavery, we've produced incredibly skilled individuals. Port Royal was brimming with such talents, and as their descendants, we hold our achievements in high regard. It's a big part of growing up in Jamaica, said Heather Pinnock, General Group Manager of the Urban Development Corporation, the government department overseeing the area's redevelopment. Almost every child learns about Port Royal, and visiting there feels like a rite of passage. The slogan, "Honoring the Past, Visioning the Future," takes center stage on the Port Royal 2020 project website. While the arrival of cruise ships was a significant moment, there's still much work ahead to fulfill the project's aim of making the town a world-class heritage, environmental, and cultural attraction. Today, Port Royal is a quiet place with sleepy residential streets and a handful of bars, a far cry from its wild past. Colonial-era Fort Charles, with its rust-orange walls and imposing black cannons, still draws visitors. Then there's the charming Giddy House, tilted at a 45-degree angle since the 1907 Kingston earthquake, making it one of the Caribbean's quirkiest attractions. However, the town lacks the infrastructure to accommodate the large numbers of visitors that cruise ships could bring. To explore the sunken ruins of Port Royal up close, you need special permission from Jamaican authorities. While that can be arranged, the real challenge is making it an authentic experience that truly brings the town's infamous story to life. Heather Pinnock is deeply involved in ensuring a sustainable future for Port Royal. It's not just about the sunken city, it's about honoring the area's biodiversity and looking ahead. "We're blending history with a focus on the environment and the future," she explained. The entire area is designated as environmentally sensitive, so there's a lot to consider. It takes careful planning and thoughtful execution. Pinnock's work goes beyond showcasing the submerged ruins. It's about creating an experience that respects both the town's past and its natural surroundings. By striking a balance between history, ecology, and future development, she hopes to ensure that Port Royal thrives in a sustainable way. So, while diving into the depths of Port Royal's history is thrilling, it's equally important to preserve its ecological integrity for generations to come. It's a delicate dance between the past, present, and future, but with careful planning and dedication, Port Royal can continue to captivate visitors while respecting its environment. Port Royal's sustainable development goals are ambitious, aiming to protect its fragile coral reefs and threatened sea creatures. By 2030, they hope to reduce marine pollution and subsidies that fuel overfishing and tackle ocean acidification. It's part of a national effort in Jamaica to move toward a more sustainable future. Nestled alongside the coral reefs lies the sunken city of Port Royal, a captivating sight for visitors. Plans are in place to create a historical trail that will guide guests through the submerged remains, featuring museums, interactive exhibits, and archaeological dig sites. Imagine exploring the sunken streets and buildings, uncovering the secrets of this once thriving pirate haven. With each step along the historical trail, you'll delve deeper into Port Royal's rich past and its connection to the sea. Port Royal stands ready to welcome curious travelers eager to discover its fascinating story. It's a chance for the town to make its mark on the world stage and cement its status as a must-visit destination in Jamaica. So, what do you think made Port Royal the wickedest city on earth? Was it the lawless pirates, the endless debauchery, or perhaps something more sinister lurking beneath the surface? Whatever the answer, one thing is for certain. Port Royal will forever hold a place in history as a testament to the dark side of human nature.